All right, welcome back. So in this video, we're going to talk about the file menu. So first thing we need to do is let's open up our UI Elements design template for the iPad. So we can open up Recent, or we can just go on the desktop here and double click, and that'll open this up. And then what I want to do is maximize the window. So whether you're on Mac or PC, you can do that on both. And what we're going to do is we're going to cover all the things that you can do in the file menu. Okay, and again, this is important from the perspective of understanding how the user interface works. So that's menu, tools, panels, etc. Okay, you got to understand how the program or the software works to really be able to master the other parts. Okay, you may be a great designer, but if you don't know how to use the software, it's going to take you some time. So this is an important part of laying the foundation of understanding and learning Adobe XD. All right, so let's click on File. And what I'm going to do first is I'm going to just do a quick overview of what each item is in the file menu, and then we're going to go through each one. All right, so starting at the top, we have New, Open, Open from your computer, Open Recent, Git UI Kits, Open CC Libraries, Close, Rename, Save, Save As, Revert to Saved, Show Document History, Export, and Import. Okay? Pretty straightforward, pretty simplistic, which is really the whole idea of designing a user interface of any type of software, application, website, anything that you use in everyday life. The whole idea of creating a simple interface is so it's accessible and easy for people to use, right? And this is really the core of what this course is going to be about, is designing a clean interface like this, but for a mobile application for the iPhone, for the iPad, and then a website, and some other projects we'll do as well. All right. So when I click on File and we go to New, this does what you would think it would do. It opens up the option to create a new file or a new project. So let's select the iPad 768 by 1024. Okay, when I double click that, now we get a new project. And you can see right away, the default is it's saved to the cloud. Okay, and that's fine. So if we double click this, we can save it to the cloud or to our computer. So for this example, I'll just hit save. Now it says it's saving, and then once that's done, then I'll close it out. Okay. Then what you can do is after we do new, we can do open. So there's a couple ways to do that. You can click open, and what this is going to do is it's going to give you a few options here. So you have recent, cloud documents, shared with you, or your computer. And we covered all of these different menus in the welcome page. Okay. Now what you can do is if we go to my computer or your computer and I double click UI Elements, now I can open that up. Okay. So I'll close that and let's open up this file again. And then what we're going to do is if I click File, Open from your computer is essentially the same thing we did with Open. So basically it's a shortcut just to go to Open from my computer. So you don't have to have 4 options. You can just have one of opening it from your computer. So I'm going to hit cancel. Okay. And then next we have Open Recent. So with this one, the nice thing about this is you don't have to search for any files. Let's say that you have a lot of files on your computer, but you've been recently working on a specific project and you can't find the file for whatever reason. Okay. What you can do is if it's the previous project that you had open, is you can go to File, Open Recent, and it's going to show the last 4 projects that you've done. And let's test something here real quick, just so I can see what it does in terms of, I want to see how many it will fill in the most recent. So if I do File, Open Recent, it looks like they only give you 4, but that may expand. It really depends. Okay. And it's not really a big deal, but it's nice to have a few projects that you can open recently. So that way, if you lose your place or you lose the file, you can get access to it. All right. Next, we're going to talk about Git UI Kits. So with this one, the example that we downloaded is an Apple iOS UI kit. Okay. So they also have material design, Microsoft Windows, wireframes, and then more UI kits. So we've already clicked on the Apple iOS because we downloaded those files for this specific section. So let's go to material design real quick. And we'll just go through each one of these real quick, just so you get an idea of what options are available. And in fact, do me a favor, let's go File, Get UI Kits, and do it again. Because for some reason, Firefox is not cooperating. Okay, so you can see here, component sticker sheet for Sketch, component sticker sheet for Adobe XD. That's the one that you would download if you wanted to utilize this sticker sheet and icon. So these are icons. They do have layout templates. Okay. So mobile, tablet, desktop, white frames. Okay. Color palette, devices. Okay. So I'll close Firefox for that. And then let's go back to File and let's do one more. And we'll do wireframes. And let's give that a shot. Okay, so what that does is you get 2 free wireframe UX kits for mobile web built exclusively for Adobe XD. So again, what this does is this gives you kind of a starting point. So you can download this and then create your own interface from this point here. Okay, so if I scroll down, it should give me an option to download. Here it is. So download kits or get Adobe XD. Okay, so those are some of the examples of kits that you can get. And like I said earlier, we're going to be utilizing this quite a bit in the course because what I want to do is I want to show you how to get templates that you can download so that you can learn from that, you can practice, but also I'm going to teach you how to build a design prototype from scratch and to wireframe it, prototype it, and design it all in one fell swoop. All right, so you're gonna learn both. Next, we're going to talk about OpenCC libraries. So this is Open Creative Cloud Libraries. So if I click on that, you're going to see here, I don't have any libraries. And basically what a Creative Cloud library is, or build a Creative Cloud library, what that is you can keep colors, images, and other frequently used assets handy in every Adobe app. We'll show you how. So what that does is this will sync across all Adobe Creative Cloud apps, and you can open this in any Adobe program, and you can utilize those tools across the board. So let's say that you have a company logo, all right, and you want to integrate that here. You can, and this is how you do it. Let's create a new library, and I'll call this Learn Tech Plus. Okay. And what you would do is you would secure this, secure your assets here. They would live here, and then you'd be able to easily access them. Okay, so an example of that would be if I show you my files for LearnTech Plus. These are all the files I have for LearnTech Plus. So I have logo, wallpaper, social media, thumbnails, backgrounds, favicon, profile picture, etc. What I could literally do with a Creative Cloud library is I could put all those files in there, and then when I'm working in Photoshop or Illustrator or After Effects or Premiere Pro or Adobe XD, I can grab the assets in any program and throw it in there and utilize it for my projects. And I don't have to look for it. I don't have to hunt for it, which is really nice. So there's a lot of value to that. Okay. Next, we're going to talk about these 4 options here. So close is obvious. What it does is it closes the program, and it closes actually the project, not the program. Okay. I misspoke there. But if I open this back up and we do the next menu here, or the next option, we can rename our project. So if you don't want to do it in the Explorer on Windows or the Finder on Mac, what you can do is you can go to File, Rename, and it will let you rename the project. So let's do that. Let's do File, Rename. Okay, and I'm going to call this Cool UI Template. Okay, I'll rename that. Okay, let's rename it. So now it's Cool UI Template. Okay. Next we have, when we go to File, we have Save and Save As. So Save is not an option right now because this file has already been saved. So what we're going to do is we'll do File, New. And if we go to iPhone X, XS, XS, and then 11 Pro, if I open that up, let me double click that. See how it's saving right here? So it's already saved it as a Untitled 1, but that's just the default name. So now when we do File, Save, then it comes here and we can save this as Untitled, or I can go to your computer and save it there. And now we've used the save function. Okay. Now to do Save As, that's always available. That's just so you can change the name of it from Untitled 1 to Untitled 12. Okay. And then you can pick the location where it's going to be saved. Next we have, you can revert to saved, show document history. Now, if I actually had a document history, I'd be able to do that. So if I grab let's grab the line tool real quick. Okay. And you don't have to do this. Just let me show you an example real quick so you can see what I'm talking about. So now when I go to File, Revert to Saved, okay, do you want to revert to the most recently saved version of the document? Yes. So what it's doing is it's going to undo everything I just did. So revert. So now it took me back to the original state before I did this. Think of it as an undo or a revert, which is what they call it. It will undo everything we did. Okay. So I'll do that again. Yep, let's revert it. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to do File, Close. And with this one, I'm going to draw a line here. Okay, and then we'll save it with Command S or Control S on PC. Okay, and that'll save it. And then when I go here to show document history, it's not going to show any document history because we don't have any, because I haven't really made any changes to it. So it's not going to let me utilize that. But basically what document history is it will show you the different versions of the document that you have. And Microsoft has started to do this with Office 365. They have the same kind of feature. And this is kind of a common feature now where you can grab multiple versions of your file. So you can kind of, think of it like a bookmark or a chapter mark in a video where you could set chapters at a certain time. Well, this is the same thing, but this is more of a linear marker or checkpoint. Okay. Next we have, when we do File, we can export. So we can export batch, selected, or all artboards, or we can send it to After Effects. So let's do batch. And as I did that, I did the wrong one. So let's do File, Export, Batch. Okay. Now what it's going to do is it's going to export. You can export it for design, web, iOS, or Android. Okay. And the format's going to be PNG. So let's do sample. We'll make a new folder called sample, and then we're going to export the sample. Okay, we'll let that run, which it already did. Then I'm going to go to sample. I'm going to open this up. And now you can see all the elements, graphics, icons, everything that we have in that project, they're here. Okay, so if I hover over it and I kind of look through them, you can see what it grabs. So if I go back to Adobe XD, okay, and I go to the selection tool here, and I select all of this, okay, when I do File, Batch, Export Batch, what it's going to do is it's going to grab all the files that I've grabbed there, and when I export it, I'm going to replace it. Okay, and then I'll open up the Finder or the Explorer, depending on what you're using. And when I look at this, it exports the batch of graphics, okay, PNGs, etc. Next, we have the option to do File, Export, and then Selected. So if I select a certain area here, okay, then I do File. Okay, so when I make a selection and then I do File, Export, and we do Selected, it's only going to export the items that I selected. Okay, so let's call this Sample2, the folder. We're going to make a folder called Sample2, and I'll export everything to Sample2. So then when I go to the Finder, I go to Desktop, Sample2. Okay, now it's got all the elements that we have for this one. And these are all PNGs, okay? Now the last option you can do is if we do File, Export, and then all artboards, what that's going to do is it's going to grab everything, and we can export it for design, web, iOS, or Android. And you can change the format to PNG, SVG, PDF, or JPEG. So let's do PDF, and we'll do Sample3. Let's make another folder called Sample3, and I'll export all artboards. So I'm going to pause the video, and when that's done, I'll be right back. All right, welcome back. So I've exported Sample3 here. If I go to Sample3, we have the cool UI template.pdf. And I don't have a PDF reader on my Mac here, but I could install it with Adobe Creative Cloud. But I'm here all week. All right, so you can see all the system colors, the background, etc. They're all here. And let's see how many pages this was, how many artboards. Okay, so there's 51 artboards on here. Okay. So there you go. So you have kind of a little bit of everything. Very cool. All right, we'll close that out. So that's the File Export option. Now the other option, the final option we have here is Import. So we can import files into the project itself. Okay? So that's how you would import files too. You just go down to File, you click on File, then you do Import. All right? So that's the file menu. So thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.